The Forgotten House in the Forest. It was the first watch of the night, and the whole city was steeped in silence. At that time, only one thing defined Clara's life: grief. Her mother's death had cast a dark shadow over her world. In the shadow of this sorrow, Clara felt that she would never be happy again. She walked, holding this pain deep within her heart. Clara decided she would escape the city's noise to find peace from this grief. She had heard that there was a mysterious forest outside the city, with a forgotten house. Her goal was to give herself some time, to think, and to reflect on a new path for her life. She set out early in the morning, walking the forest path. The branches of the trees were intertwined, and there was a strange silence in the air. The sound of her footsteps was swallowed by the forest's depths, as if she had been cut off from the rest of the world. Trapped in this one moment, Clara decided to immerse herself in the silence of this place for as long as she could. As she stepped onto the forest floor, her eyes fell upon a magical sight. The faint moonlight filtered through the tree branches, casting a glow on the ground, and the whole scene looked like something out of a story. She took a deep breath, absorbing the tranquility, but a worry still lingered in her mind. She knew there was something else in this forest, something that hides in the stories she used to hear as a child, but she didn't want to think about it too much. She just wanted to live in the moment. After walking for a few hours, her eyes caught sight of an old, dilapidated door. The door was slowly opening, as if waiting for someone. A mysterious silence lay behind it, and Clara's breathing quickened. She went closer to the door and peered inside. A strange, cold breeze touched her body. Her heart pounded, and then she took a step inside. As soon as Clara opened the door, a new scene appeared before her. It was a mysterious, crumbling house, covered in dirt and dust. The interior was so dark that it seemed the moonlight had stopped before reaching it. The walls were stained with dirt, and the furniture was scattered, as if no one had cleaned it in years. Clara took a step forward and began to explore the room. Despite everything, there was a strange pull that forced her to enter this house. It was as if something special was hidden within. Clara explored several rooms. In one room, there were old books, and their scent was so strong that it felt like they were thousands of years old. She picked up a book, but something was strange about it. When she opened it, she found some old pictures and writings inside. The writings had a depth to them, as if they were the secrets this house had hidden within itself. Then her eyes fell on an old photograph of a smiling family. There was a strange charm in their smiles, but the shadows hidden within them disturbed her. There was something on their faces that was concealed, and her heart began to race. She looked closely at the picture, but as her eyes fell on a corner of it, she had a strange feeling. She felt as if the picture was staring at her. As Clara turned away from the picture, a whisper reached her ears. "Why have you come?" The voice was so soft and mysterious that a chill ran down her spine. She immediately turned to look, but there was no one in the room. A profound silence fell over her. Her breathing grew fast and she immediately ran towards the door. But as she tried to open it, the door closed. Her body became still. From a distance, she heard footsteps. The sound was coming closer to her. Her heart pounded faster, and she tried to move her body, but she was stuck in place. Then, a dark shadow appeared from a corner of the room. The shadow was slowly approaching her, like an ancient spirit. "You should not have come here," the shadow said, and there was a pain in its voice that made Clara's body tremble. She tried to close her eyes, but when she opened them, the shadow was now in front of her, with a vacant stare that reached her very soul. The shadow came closer to Clara, and her body began to sink into a dark stream. Its terrifying smile, its empty eyes, and its dilapidated clothes made her aware of a horrifying reality. "This house has brought you here, and now you have become a part of it," the shadow said, and its words held the glimpse of a deep secret. Clara's body had stiffened, and she couldn't understand what was happening. She knew that this forest, this house, all of this was a trap which she had laid for herself. She had become its victim. Her heart felt as if it had stopped, and in front of her eyes, the dark shadow stood close to her body. Clara's breathing quickened and her heart pounded. The dark shadow had now come very close to her. She was surrounded by a mysterious fear, and she had a deep feeling that she shouldn't have been in this place. "This house is pulling you towards itself," the shadow said again, and there was something in its voice that penetrated to Clara's bones. Clara's feet seemed to have sunk into the ground, and she tried to move herself, but her body was as if paralyzed. Her mind was getting confused, and she couldn't understand what was happening. She kept looking at the shadow, and in its eyes was the same vacant pull that she was feeling deep within her soul. "You should have left from here," the shadow said again, and its face was smiling. Its smile was so mysterious that it scared Clara even more. Every part of her body trembled, and drops of sweat rolled down her hands. Clara tried to close her eyes again, but this was no dream. Her body went close to the shadow and came under its control. She was feeling everything in the room changing due to its presence. "You won't be able to stay here. This house won't let you go back," the shadow said as it moved towards her. Clara tried to answer it, but she couldn't speak. Her mind and body had come under its grip. Then, the shadow was silent for a while. In that silence, Clara felt that the atmosphere of the room had changed. It was as if everything around her had slowed down, and she herself had reached another world. "This house never lets go," the shadow said again, and its words vanished into a deep fog. Clara's eyes were now on its face. It came close to her and stared at her. Her body was filled with countless questions and fears, and she felt that something was very mysterious. "Whatever this is, it will take you with it. Your soul will stay here forever." The shadow's voice had become deep, blurry, and mysterious, as if it was saying something that Clara would never be able to hear. Deep lines of fear appeared in Clara's eyes. She looked around, as if searching for a way to escape this trap. The walls of the room, which once looked old and empty, were now full of life. The spreading branches and roots were making the place alive, and this was the mysterious life that had taken control of Clara's body and mind. Then, for a moment, she looked near the door. The door through which she had entered had now become a closed path. It was as if it wasn't a door, but something that was spreading itself. The door had closed, and every corner and every hole had now become a living creature. "Do you want to know how all this happened?" The shadow's voice was heard again. "This door will never let you out. The path of your footsteps has now been closed forever." A question echoed in Clara's mind. Why is all this happening? But the question couldn't come out of her mouth. There was only one thought in her mind, that she had come to a place where she never wanted to be. "You won't be able to go out from here. Your soul, your life, all of it has become a part of this house." The shadow's tone was now very deep, as if every word it said held an old secret. Clara tried to shake herself to believe that this was just her mental impression. But still, she knew that this was no ordinary dream. Her soul was somehow trapped in this net, and this house had become her permanent abode. As long as you don't accept this reality, you will have to stay here. The shadow came closer to her, and a deep black void appeared in its eyes. Clara immediately closed her eyes, but she had reached another world. This world was now hers, and that house was now hers. Clara's mind was now filled with a sharp pain. There was pain in every part of her body, as if her soul had suffered some deep damage. She was still in the shadow's grip, and her body was helpless. She couldn't do anything. The door was now like a dream, and there was only one thought in her mind: to get out of here. But her heart knew that she wouldn't be able to get out of here. "You cannot go." The shadow's voice was heard again. "This house is yours, and now you have become a part of it." Clara tried to close her eyes, but another scene appeared in front of her. A mysterious thought arose in her mind. She wanted to know something more about this house, the secrets that were hidden inside it. Her eyes then fell on an ancient book that was lying in a corner of the room. There was something in this book, something she needed to understand. She opened the book, and on its pages, an old writing was hidden. The writing said, "This house has always been a trap, which absorbs everyone who comes into it. The one who comes here can never get out." Clara's eyes remained fixed on the book, and suddenly a small thought came to her. Is this true? Have I become a part of this trap? This question kept echoing in her mind. She knew that her body had now become a part of this house, and there was no way back. "You cannot stop me," Clara said, turning towards the shadow, with a new confidence in her voice. She now felt a new strength inside her instead of fear. She had made a resolution in her heart that she would get out of this house, no matter what. The shadow was standing in front of her, and its smile was still deep, but there was a faint desire in its eyes. "You don't know who you are fighting with," it said, and there was a mysterious depth in its voice. "This house will change your destiny." "No!" Clara gathered her strength and tried to free her body from this trap. Her mind was now clear, and she knew that her fear was keeping her away from her freedom. The shadow slowly came closer, and then suddenly, it held Clara's body with a strong jerk. "You will have to make this decision now," it said. "Will you become a part of this house, or will you fight for your freedom?" Clara took a deep breath, and then a new energy was born inside her. She knew that her fight was not just with the shadow, but also with this house, which tries to trap every human in its net. Clara tried her best to free herself from the shadow's grip, and a new determination was born in her body. A power had awakened inside her that she had never felt before. She took a step and started walking towards the shadow. A wave of warm and powerful light ran through her body, as if her soul had felt a new energy. The shadow was now close to Clara, and it looked extremely still in front of her. The mysterious crack in its eyes had now become even deeper. "You can't escape from me," it said. "This house will always be your destiny." But Clara rejected it. "I will not take your destiny upon myself," she said, and the light in her body became more intense. "You have become a part of this house, but I will not." At that moment, Clara felt the power inside her even more. Her soul had so much power that it could push the shadow away. She gave her body one last jerk, and as she tried to push the shadow back, there was a big explosion. The shadow, which was once close to her, suddenly disappeared. A silence fell in the room. Clara's eyes were still shining, and she knew that she had defeated the reality of this mysterious house. She was now free, and her path was clear. But her path was not that simple. The rooms of the house were now filled with a strange light, and this light was taking Clara towards a new world. She knew that another challenge was still to come, but she had prepared herself. Clara's eyes were still shining. After fighting the shadow, she was feeling her freedom again, but her heart was still restless. There was something inside this house that she still couldn't understand. She knew that defeating the shadow was only her first step, but this trap that this house had laid could only be ended by knowing the truth inside it. When she took a step forward, a strong, deep feeling came to her heart. This feeling was not just fear, but a power that was hidden in the walls of the house. As she was moving forward, a door appeared in front of her that was hidden until now. This door led to another room, and its shadow was again trying to take Clara's soul into its grip. Clara's eyes were fixed on the door, and her heart began to pound. "What is this door?" she asked herself. "This door will make you face the truth." A mysterious voice came, which was nowhere but was echoing inside her. Clara opened the door, and like a door to a new world, she entered inside. As soon as Clara opened the door, a completely different scene was in front of her. This was not the place she had seen before. This was a vast and mysterious world, submerged in a golden mist. There was a strange scent in the air, as if this place was from another era. In this new part of the house, a strange light was spreading, and with the help of this light, Clara saw that there were old inscriptions on the walls, which were telling a story. The inscriptions were so clear that it felt like they held the secret of an ancient civilization. In these inscriptions, there were figures, shapes, and pictures of laughter that were hidden behind a mischievous spirit. "What is all this?" Clara said, standing near a broken pillar. "Is all this real or just a dream of some other kind?" At that moment, another shadow appeared in front of her, but this shadow was different from the first one. This shadow was more clear, and its form had the shape of an ancient human who was looking at her. "I am the one who built this house," the shadow said, and there was a depth of the past in its voice. "This house was not built to lock you inside, but to take your destiny to a new path." Clara's feet froze. "Who are you?" she asked with terror. "I am a part of this land," the shadow said, "and this house is a vast, ancient trap. You have to come here to face this reality. This house is pulling you towards itself because your existence is connected to it." Clara's eyes widened with fear. "What are you saying?" she said, taking a deep breath. "This house is only for knowing the secrets hidden inside your soul. This trap was built so that you could face your fears, so that you could see the truth that is hidden in your destiny." The shadow's face was now clear and bright, and Clara felt that this was no ordinary human, but a powerful spirit. "You want to change my destiny?" Clara said in a calm voice. The power inside her had awakened. "I will not get caught in this trap. There is a power inside you that can free you from this trap," the shadow said. "This is the time of your test. You have to face your fears and understand that you are the real secret of this world." Clara closed her eyes and then took a deep breath. She knew that this was her last test, and its answer was hidden inside her. She prepared herself for this reality. "If I don't get caught in this trap, I will have to win my fear," Clara said. After that, a powerful light was born in her body. That light was the expression of her inner strength, and in her eyes was the confidence with which she could free herself from this trap. The power of her body pushed the shadow back, and its grip started to weaken. "I will defeat you," Clara said, and there was a new determination in her voice. The shadow started to weaken in front of her power, the trap that it had built around her. Now there was a sound of breaking. Clara felt that power with all her heart, and finally she was free. She gave one last push, and the shadow completely disappeared. All the doors of the house opened, and she was now free. She took a deep breath and stepped towards the outside world, where she saw the beginning of a new life. Her path was now clear, and she knew that her destiny was in her hands. Clara stepped out of the end of the house, and the cold air touched her face. The trees of the forest were now standing in a different form in front of her, as if they knew her themselves. There was a strange scent in the air here, and there was a rustle in every leaf's movement that was echoing in her ears. She took a deep breath and started to move forward, but her heart was still filled with uncertainty. She saw a small path between the trees, which was going towards the light. The path looked very old, but its direction was clear. As Clara started to walk on this path, she felt a slight trembling under the ground, and a slow voice echoed, "Clara, Clara." Clara's heart started to pound loudly. This voice was neither frightening nor happy. It was something that was touching her from the inside, as if she herself was expecting this voice. "Who is it?" Clara said, gathering the strength of her heart. But in response, she only got the rustle and the slight movement of the trees. After walking for a while, Clara reached the edge of a lake. The water of the lake was so clear that she could see the reflection of everything in front of her eyes. But what she saw in the water was enough to shake her. In the bottom of the lake, the reflection of the house and its shadow were moving together, as if the house was still hidden behind her. Clara stepped back. How is this possible? I have become free. A wave of doubt ran through her heart. At that moment, small waves were created on the surface of the lake, and an old lamp emerged from the bottom of the water. A light was fixed in the lamp, and in that light, a hidden writing appeared. "The one who will search for the truth, this lamp will show the way. But there is danger at every step, and every secret has a price." Clara took the lamp in her hand and immediately felt that this lamp was not just a light, but a source of powerful guidance. The light of the lamp revealed the hidden story in the water of the lake. The story said that this forest and the mysterious house were the invention of an ancient civilization, which were made to check the power of people's souls. Every human who comes here has to face their real fear, weakness, and power. Clara took a deep breath and held the lamp tightly. "I am ready," she said slowly. "Whatever secret is hidden, I will know it, and I will defeat it." At that moment, a faint light rose from the water of the lake, which was going towards a tree, and Clara understood that a new journey had begun for her. Clara tightened her grip, and from the edge of the lake, she took the path between the trees. But suddenly, a faint rustle was heard behind her. She turned, and she saw that the first shadow had appeared again. But it was not as scary as before, but like a test for her. The shadow said, "You have won the first test, but the real challenge is still left. Every step, every decision can change your destiny." Clara kept her eyes open and held the light of the lamp tightly. "I am ready. Now no fear can stop me." The shadow smiled slightly and slowly disappeared between the trees. But Clara knew that this disappearance was only temporary, and her real test was still left. Clara held the lamp in one hand and peered into the water of the lake. A slight light spread on the surface of the water, as if her soul was feeling something inside the lake. She knew that this lake was not just a water reservoir, but a mirror of a deep secret that was about to open in front of her. There were now many small ripples on the surface of the lake, and some of them were becoming extinct and disappearing, as if a reality of the past was hidden in them. A few moments later, another scene emerged on the surface of the lake. An old door was visible under the lake, which was slowly opening. A faint light was spreading from the door towards the outside, and Clara decided in her heart that she would go in the direction of this light. She knew that this path would only take her to one place, to the depth of reality. Clara raised the lamp and started to move towards the door. As she took a step, the water of the lake slowly started to rise, and the mud under her feet also started to slide. A new heartbeat was born in her heart. A new reality was in front of her. And to know this reality, she had to pass through this door. As she reached near the door of the lake, a blurry scene appeared in front of her. Clara increased the light of the lamp even more so that she could see this scene clearly. There was a tunnel inside the door, which was deep and dark. Around it were mysterious inscriptions and shining stones that were shining on the walls of the tunnel, coming out from the surface of the lake. Clara took a step and entered the tunnel. Where does this tunnel go? A question came to her mind. Her eyes were getting deeper inside the tunnel, and she knew that the end of this path would be another reality. During this, she heard a voice from under the lake. This voice was a whisper, as if someone was saying hidden things in her ears. If you take this path, you will have to face your destiny. I am ready, Clara said, and there was a determination in her voice. At the end of the tunnel there was a door, on top of which an old symbol was carved. That symbol was in an ancient language, the meaning of which was still unclear to Clara. Seeing this symbol, she became more curious, but she had to decide to go inside it now. Clara opened the door and entered inside. She knew that this door would be the beginning of a new era for her. The atmosphere inside was sad and mysterious. On one side, in a big room, an ancient pillar was standing, around which there was a complex inscription. This inscription was such as if it were the symbols of an ancient civilization, and those symbols were ready to take Clara to another world. You have opened the door, a voice came. This voice was a whisper, but now there was a power in it. Now you have to ask yourself what your destiny is. What will you become? Clara followed this voice and reached near the pillar. Under the pillar, a deep water like a river was flowing, and mysterious currents were being formed in this water. What is this water? Clara asked, but there was no answer. Her eyes drowned in this water, and she felt that this water was pulling her inside. As soon as she reached near this water, another light started to shine inside the water, and Clara tried to discover the hidden reality in it. Clara put her foot in the water, and as her feet drowned in the water, she felt that she was going to a different world. Under the water, a whole new world was taking shape, and a scene appeared in front of her eyes, in which she was seeing herself as a part of an ancient civilization. Where am I? Clara asked herself, and a scene of a palace under a big tree was in front of her. A deserted place was visible at the bottom of the water, where a picture of a ruler was visible, whose face was very old and had a fear in it. Clara took a step towards the palace and opened the door. Behind the door, in a big hall, there was a picture of a great ruler, and with it was a dark shadow. That shadow was now in front of Clara, and its presence shook her soul. You have to face this secret, the shadow said. This house, this forest, all of this is for you to know your destiny. Now you have to decide on which path you want to walk. Clara took a step and entered inside the palace. Her heart was pounding fast, but there was also a determination in her body that was taking her to the end of this mysterious trap. The atmosphere inside the palace was mysterious, and with every step, this question was echoing in her mind. Am I ready to know this secret? Reaching in front of the ruler's picture, she took a deep breath. The ruler's face in the picture looked powerful and mysterious. His eyes were empty, and a deep story was hidden in his smile. Clara closed her eyes and felt that this picture was not just a symbol, but this ruler was a part of her destiny to which she was connected. You have to decide, Clara. The shadow's voice came. This is the face of reality, and now you have to choose your own path. Clara decided that she would get out of this trap and was ready to know the truth that was in front of her. She took a step and stood in front of the ruler, firm in her gaze. As soon as Clara took a step in front of the ruler, there was a big explosion, and cracks started to appear in the walls of the palace. The whole room was trembling, and Clara felt that the moment of her freedom had come. You have freed yourself. The shadow's voice had become deep and blurry. This house was trying to change your destiny, but you have recognized yourself. All the walls of the palace now started to break, and a part of it sank into the ground. Clara's body felt light and free. She was no longer a part of the trap, but now she had become the owner of her own destiny. Now, you have to face your last test. The shadow's voice shook Clara's soul. There was a last door in front of her, behind which there was a dark void. A flash of light came out of this door, as if it was trying to pull her out of it herself. Clara took a step and started walking towards the door. As the door opened, another shadow appeared in front of her. It was the same shadow that had tested her before. But now, this shadow looked weaker than before. You have to choose your own path, the shadow said, and now there was pain in its voice. You have freed yourself. But it is true that every freedom has a price. I have earned my freedom myself, Clara said, and there was complete confidence in her voice. Now I have to face my destiny, and I will not be afraid of it. Clara took one last step and came out of the door, leaving the shadow behind. As soon as she came out, she felt that all the fatigue of her body had gone away, and she was stepping towards a new world. The trees of the forest now looked different. They were bright and clear instead of shadows and fog. Clara looked up at the sky and felt that this was a new beginning. Her path was now clear, and her heart was filled with happiness. This forest is no longer a part of my destiny, Clara said in her heart. Now I am free. The open path in front of her was now guiding her to start a new journey, and Clara knew that this journey would be the most important and free stage of her life. Clara's story had now come full circle. She had faced her destiny, become free from the trap, and discovered her reality. Her freedom was not just physical, but spiritual. The power had come inside her that not only freed her from the trap of the forest and the house, but also highlighted the real power inside her. She knew that now she was the owner of her own destiny, and a new beginning of her life had now started.